Hey friends, and welcome to the Paparazzi podcast. Here we chat about all things paparazzi. Tips, tricks, suggestions, and weekly challenges. All to help you grow and explode your paparazzi accessories business to rockstar success. Hello, rock stars. Welcome back to another episode of the Paparazzi podcast. My name is Anya Bohm, and I am your show host. Today, we're going to be talking about limiting beliefs. Do you have beliefs or thoughts that are holding you back from your goals and dreams? Let's talk about it. Before we get into that, though, if you're busy taking care of the kids, driving the car, maybe you just don't have time to take notes as fast as I talk, you know what? It's okay. I've got you covered. Head on over to paparockstars.com/beliefs and you can get all the show notes, the call image we're going to talk about in a minute, and there's some amazing resources you're going to want to get your hands on today. So again, paparockstars.com/beliefs. Now, the call image I talked about today, it's in a really pretty purple flower background, and it says, I always wonder why birds stay in the same place when they can fly anywhere on the earth. Then I ask myself the same question. And I'm going to slaughter the person that says this. It's a quote by Harun Yahya. Like I said, I slaughtered it, but it's a beautiful quote. I totally love it, and it goes right along with what we're talking about today. So head on over there and snag that. You can use it on your Facebook account, in a group, if you want to motivate people for your teams, however you want to use it. I've made it for you. So head on over there and check that out. Okay, let's jump right into the training. What are the messages that you tell yourself every day? Do you have some that you really don't like? Or maybe some that you aren't even aware of? Your world, your entire world is governed by these thoughts and beliefs that you have about yourself and about the world around you. You don't believe me? I want you to think the following thought 3 times. There are so many white cars on the road. There are so many white cars on the road. And one more time, there are so many white cars on the road. Now, when you're out driving next, say the same thing 3 times. Now, I want you to watch how many white cars you see. Are you thinking it's just a coincidence? Try another experiment. My kids recently started playing the slug bug game. Now, I was convinced that there weren't any Volkswagen Beetles in our town until they started this game. Now, every time we are out running errands or coming home from school, we see at least 2 Beetles. Every single time. I am completely amazed. I just hadn't seen them because I wasn't looking. So now try that when you're out. See if you can see how many slug bugs. Or a perdiddle. Have you ever played the perdiddle game? That one's fun too. Your brain filters through hundreds of thousands of important and less important messages every single day. Your subconscious mind filters through each of these messages and decides what's important and what's not as important. The filter is created by our life's experiences, the things we are focusing on in our lives, and then the positive and our self-talk. I recently shared in a call about a consultant who believed that she couldn't wear a hippie headband. And so then when she put it on, she felt silly when really she looked amazing. Her self-talks, her beliefs, they caused her to believe that she would look silly. But if she had been telling herself messages like, I am stylish and trendy, then maybe she would have thought differently about those hippie headbands. And she might have even been wearing them all along. I'm going to tell you a story from my life. When I was in 6th grade, I had a teacher, and she kind of helped me form a belief about myself that's haunted me for years. I loved to volunteer back in the 6th grade. I loved to help the teacher. I loved to read out loud. I loved to write on the chalkboard. Pretty much anytime the teacher asked for a volunteer, I would raise my hand. I just loved helping her out. I loved doing whatever she was asking. Well, now there was this other girl in class named Jessica. Now, we were both the tallest girls in the class, and she was a lot like me, only blonde and a little bit more developed. Now, for some reason, the teacher liked Jessica a lot more. She quickly moved my desk to the very back of the class and always had Jessica's desk right in front of her. Now, you're probably saying, you know what, this is in your mind a little bit, but it'll make sense. Just keep listening. She called on Jessica to read out loud and help her almost all of the time, even when her hand wasn't raised, but mine was. It didn't take very long for me to realize that she was the favorite. And then I started to wonder why. In my mind, I formed the idea that I didn't have a voice people liked to listen to, and that I must read in a boring way, and that I must not be interesting, and I must not be someone others wanted to follow. It's taking me a long time to realize that these thoughts aren't true. It was just one of the things that stopped me from doing team trainings for a long time. I still have a really difficult time raising my hand to answer questions in a class or a group setting. And don't even get me started about reading things out loud. I still struggle with these thoughts that I've had for so many years. And it started in the 6th grade. For the longest time, I didn't even realize I had these thoughts. It was just a little voice in the back of my mind that said, you can't because you're not interesting. Now, does this sound familiar to you? Do you maybe have some kind of a belief that's holding you back? Did somebody say something to you when you were little that's haunted you? That's that little voice in the back of your mind that comes up every single time something similar happens, some kind of a similar situation. What can you do to change these beliefs? So let's talk about that for a minute. I am statements are so powerful. These are statements that are also called affirmations, and you say them to yourself to kind of help create the world and the results that you want. For example, I have one affirmation that is, I am healthy and strong. And I say that to myself over and over again. I am healthy and strong. Now, when I first started saying this, I wasn't as healthy and as strong as I wanted to be. But I found myself making better eating choices, and time kind of magically appeared for me to work out. I was amazed by the results that I had. And it didn't take very long at all. It was really cool. An amazing book that talks about the science behind the thoughts and your affirmations and your I am statements. It's a book called Train Your Brain by Dana Wilde. Now, I'm going to link up to this in the resources section of the show notes, so you're going to want to head over there and check that out. This book has totally transformed my life, and it has helped me be more aware of my self-talk and work on changing it into positive messages. Another great way to help your brain focus more on what you want to have is to have a vision board. I am a firm believer in vision boards, and that focusing on what you want to see happen in your life will make it happen. If you want to hear more about that, listen to the training I did a couple weeks ago with Robin Frank. We talk about vision boards in that training. That's at paparockstars.com/Robin. You're going to want to listen to that. One last way about changing your limiting beliefs is what I like to call acting as if. There's kind of a phrase out there that says something like fake it till you make it. And I really don't like the sound of that one. To me, it sounds like you're being fake. And I feel it's important to be authentic in all that we do. Acting as if is my way of saying that you need to act like you're already what you want to be. For example, if you wanted to be a world famous piano player, you have to act as if you're already a world famous piano player. You study, you learn, you train the way a world famous piano player would. You practice. You study and practice your techniques. You surround yourself with the best teachers, music, and colleagues. You go to a school that teaches expert lessons in piano, or you take private lessons. You do everything a professional player has done or does currently. Now, you don't become a success by accident. It's work. It's hard work sometimes. That's what makes it worthwhile when you get to the end. People don't see all the work that it took to become a success. They only see the end results. Do you think that Michael Jordan became the superstar he is today by walking onto the court one day and saying, "Hey, I think I want to play basketball"? No, not at all. He was actually cut from his high school basketball team. Can you believe it? And that didn't even stop him. Nope. He kept practicing and he kept working and he worked some more. And there are times that he would stay after practice for 2 hours working on his free throw. People have said that he was always the first one at practice and he was always the last one to leave. That was his dedication. That was his commitment. Now, there's an amazing TED Talk out there that kind of walks through acting as if. It talks about how you can use how you stand and how you sit to increase your confidence and also to be more energetic. In this TED Talk, she talks about how several people were interviewed while they were sitting in either a confident or in a non-confident position, and the difference it made to the person who was interviewing them. You're going to want to check this out. You will be glad you did. It's got some great information in there. Again, linked up in the show notes. Be sure and check them out. So now, what are some beliefs that you have? Are there some things that you can think of right now that might be holding you back? It's time to make a change and to start creating the life that you want to live and reaching towards your dreams. Now, those resources, just to reiterate, that I talked about today. Number 1, the Train Your Brain book by Dana Wilde. It is an awesome book. It walks through the science of affirmations. It walks through the best affirmations to have, how many you should have. It gives you some examples. It even gives you some exercises to go through in the back of the book to kind of reevaluate your self-talk and kind of see if you have anything that's blocking you. So highly, highly, highly recommend it. You can get it in a Kindle version or in a regular version as well. The second resource for today is that TED Talk that I was just talking about. On the show notes page, you can actually watch it right there on the page. I've linked it up, or the printable show notes. There's the link for that. So whichever way works for you. It's an amazing TED Talk. You are going to want to listen to that one. I've watched it like 18 times now. Okay, are y'all ready? It is time for the call challenge. The challenge for this week is to listen to yourself talk. What are some things you're telling yourself that might be hurting your self-worth? What are some phrases that you think are helping you to achieve your dreams? Kind of both sides of the coin there. Now, I want you to find one thing that you want to change and use an I am statement to start creating the results you want. That's it. Easy enough, right? Just one. Okay, you guys, get out there. Have a fabulous week. Evaluate those limiting beliefs and step past them. Move past them and change them so that you can live the life that you want to live and have the success that you want. Thank you again for listening. The show notes, you can find those over at paparockstars.com/beliefs. And hey, if you like the show, go ahead and head on over to iTunes and leave us a rating or a review. I don't know why that's such a tongue twister. Leaving us a review or a rating will help other people to find the program, and it kind of lets me know that you're enjoying it, so that, all the work that I put into it is a little bit more worthwhile. So thanks for listening. I love you guys. We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.